Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Brian's Horror Corner, and welcome to the ScareFest Horror Convention weekend wrap-up video, days 2 and 3 for the most part. I did get a video up for day one on Saturday a couple days ago. That was a very short video, as Friday night was pretty uneventful. Well, I don't want to say uneventful, but I didn't have a whole lot to share about what I did Friday at the convention. Obviously, if you can't tell, I'm still pretty bronchial, trying to get over this cold. That's part of the reason why I wasn't able to shoot a day two wrap up video yesterday, Sunday. That and I had to check out of my room, and I just didn't want to. I didn't want to rush the video, so I figured I would just wait till I got home again and go ahead and shoot an overall wrap up video. So this will definitely be a longer video because I have a lot to go through. So, um, with that being said, first thing is this is what I attended here. ScareFest weekend, 15th anniversary weekend. So this is my badge that I got for it. And then there's the back. So yeah, it wasn't VIP, it wasn't Weekend Plus or any of the other fancy stuff um, that they have going on. Although it's pretty cool, they have the QR codes there if you wanted to look up the scheduled events or the photo op schedule on there. You just have to scan that. So it is a cool badge. And it was a cool horror convention, I can say from the get go here. I've been to three of these things now, different horror conventions. I've been to a Days of the Dead Horror Hound weekend and now Scarefest weekend. And I have to sit and think about which one's the best, but this one was very good, very well organized, a lot of helpful staff and signage and just a lot of fun. The way it was laid out was really cool. One thing I got while I was there, while I was wearing my Jaws shirt, was this 50th anniversary Jaws. So basically, this is like a Facebook group, which I'm definitely going to look into joining. And they saw my Jaws shirt and they stopped me and gave me this info. So I just thought I would share that. Jaws 50 is a Facebook group that is partnered with and is fully endorsed by the biggest and best Jaws pages on Facebook. Our mission is to keep over 200,000 Jaws fans up to date and in the know about the 50th anniversary celebration, which will obviously be happening in 2025 will be 50 years, which is hard to believe, to say the least. They also got this back in the day, which looks like Back to the Future related, which I'm gonna have to check out too. But yeah, just a cool thing that I thought I would show you guys that I got. And I got a couple of posters related to Scarefest weekends here. Hopefully you guys can see that, but um, yeah, pick these up for free. So there's that one, and then this one, which is like the main Scarefest weekend poster, like headline poster for the whole horror convention here. So that's very cool. So yeah, those are just a couple things I wanted to show you first before we really get into the crux of this video. So first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and show you guys all the purchases that I made from vendors, the souvenirs, if you want to say, just to add to my overall horror collection here that I'm going to show you. And then we'll go through who I met, the autographs, and all that fun stuff. So, first things first, the first thing I picked up here was this really cool, um, what do you call these things? Like a coffee, not coffee, like a water. My brain's escaping me. I know there's a word for it. Not, I just keep wanting to say canister, but that's not what it is. But like a water thing here, and it comes with a metal straw actually, and I even got a tip for the metal straw here. But very cool. You got Jason, Freddy, um, Pennywise, Michael Myers, yeah, like all the big ones here. So even though I have a few more generic, non-horror related water mugs, it's not a water mug. What the hell is this thing called? Shoot, I can't think. My cold must be blocking my brain. But you guys know. You put water in here. You could probably put a hot drink in here too. I just can't think of the name, but it's a really cool horror cup. So that's the first thing that I bought. And by the way, I bought all this stuff yesterday, my last day at the convention. that's kind of how I do it. It also comes in this box, or I don't know how well you can, just for storage. But um, basically, if I go to a horror convention, like I scope everything out the first couple days. I might buy one or two things like on the second day. There's a reason I didn't at this convention that I'll get into. But typically I wait till the last day because sometimes you can get they're looking to move some stock, and so they sometimes you can get deals that you can't get the first 2 days. That and I kind of want to figure out through the first 2 days kind of what I want, what I'm looking at, and then go back and get it on Sunday. So the next thing I got, the one piece of clothing item I got is one of my favorite movies of all time, The Thing, and I love this shirt here with the green here, the ultimate alien terror for sure. Um, so yeah, I definitely had to get this The Thing T-shirt here to add to my collection. I probably have like 10 or 12 horror T-shirts now. I should probably start investing in some hoodies and some other clothing paraphernalia. I do have a couple of caps as well, but that's that for the clothing part of it. And then I got three more magnets for the fridge here. I've got Fright Night. I've got very apropos for this time of the year. I got Trick or Treat. And then I decided to go ahead and get Killer Clowns from Outer Space. So, so yeah, those three magnets there, very cool. And then I got a bunch more DVDs, mostly movies. I think there's one show in here. I went to what do you call it? Blood Moon Pictures. They had a booth there. I mean, I picked this up. This is a 13 Slaves Till Xmas. Pray Christmas Doesn't Come Early. It's a horror anthology movie um, from the same creators of Volumes of Blood, which I do have in my collection here. Volumes of Blood. That's a horror anthology that I have in my collection. This was sort of the next one. And there's another one that's coming out in 2024. I talked to the guy at the booth about, but it wasn't quite going to be ready by Christmas. I think it was more of a New Year's. I can't remember exactly the title, but I did get a card from them, from Blood Moon Pictures. But decided to pick this one up. It'll be a new watch for me around the holidays here. So it looks like we've got 13 shorts here. Unwrapped nearly 2 hours of horrific special features. The only way film horror fans will need to watch this festive season, the only movie. On December 24th, five seemingly random men are invited to a dive bar by a mysterious email. They decide to pass the time by resurrecting the old tradition of telling scary stories on Christmas Eve. As each take turns spinning yarns of Yuletide terror, it becomes evident that there may be harboring a dark and deadly secret. They may be harboring. So that's right up my alley. I love those kind of horror anthology wraparound stories and getting into the stories. I don't know how good they'll be with 13. They're probably not all going to be top notch. Maybe they will be, hopefully. But anyway, I picked that up there, and then I got this. These I got because I got a really good deal on them here. Last day purchase. So the first we got the Outer Limits series, sex and science fiction collection here. Um, this ran from 95 to 2001. It looks like. So it looks like there's I don't know how well you guys can see that 6 stories on the back there. Um, this basically I picked it up because I needed a fifth movie in order to make this deal work. It was basically like 5 movies for $10 kind of thing. So yeah, The Outer Limits from 1995 to 2001, the sex and science fiction collection. That's the first one I got. Then I got the Darkman trilogy here, which I've never seen any of these movies. I had them saved on Shutter or Netflix, I can't remember, but now I don't have to do that because I have all three of them on the franchise collection Darkman trilogy here on DVD. So pick that up. Then I got a movie with Michael Madsen and Bill Moseley called House: The Guilty Cannot Hide. Um, don't know anything about it. It says that it's creepy and entertaining, a suspenseful psychological roller coaster ride. It's from 2007, so if anybody's seen this or knows anything about it, you can comment down below. But Definitely looking forward to checking that out. And then I know this isn't a great movie. It's the Toolbox Murders remake by Toby Hooper. At least I think it's the remake. Yeah, 2004. Um, but again, I wanted to give it a shot. If you lived here, you would be dead by now. That's the tagline. So, yeah, Toolbox Murders. And then finally, for the fifth movie to round it out with Lynn Shay, Sophia Matson, and Bill Moseley, we've got Gothic Harvest here. A voodoo curse won't let them live or die. So that's another movie I don't know too much about, but I thought I would pick it up and add it to my collection. Sometimes it's interesting to add movies that aren't mainstream that you haven't heard about, especially from horror conventions, because that's where you tend to find a lot of the lesser known horror movies. So but anyway, so yeah, I picked up these five here, four movies and then one series, like the Outer Limits series from the '90s here. Um, so yeah, that pretty much rounds out all the souvenirs if or the purchases that I made from vendors. If you want to say there was so much more. I mean, if I had more money and time, I really could have cleaned up there. There's so many cool things that I could have bought. More posters, Jason hockey masks. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. But you got to draw the line somewhere. Um, I'm going to turn that light a little bit, and so. Uh, but I'm happy with the purchases that I made, quite frankly. Now we'll get into the crux of the video, which is talking about who I met, the autographs I got, and all those fun things. Before I get into that, I'll talk a little bit about the 3 day convention. So Friday night, I kind of got a late start into the convention. It went from 4 to 9 for general admission. I got there about 5:30. I left about 8:30. So that's why my first video that I dropped a couple days ago, there wasn't a whole lot there, other than getting a photo op with Nick Castle, which was very cool. And then a couple other photos that I took. Um, there really wasn't much else going on. Um, that was Friday. Saturday is obviously always the busiest day of a con because it's the longest day. It goes from 11 to 8 for general admission hours, and I was there from like 10 to 6:30, 6:45, I want to say, on Saturday. So it was a long day, especially when you're dealing with a head cold. But yeah, and then Sundays, like I said, that's really the day you can clean up because there's not as many people there. It goes from 11 to 5 for the most part. So it's a great day to collect all the purchases that you want to make, to get those autographs that you haven't gotten the first 2 days. I really couldn't get a lot of autographs on Saturday because there were just so many people there. And it was hard to get around, and at a certain point, especially when you're sick, you're like, I've had enough of this shit. I'm getting the, you know, I did a lot more like panels and stuff. There was so I did 3 panels on Saturday that I sat in on. One was the reason that I went to this convention was basically the Friday the 13th Final Girls being there, which I'll get into here shortly. But they had a panel at 2 o'clock Saturday that I checked out. The Richard Dreyfuss and the Jaws cast that was there had a panel at 4 o'clock that I went to, and then they had what they called a monsters panel, or killers panel, not monsters panel, where you had 5 killers from different franchises. So David Howard Thornton, who played Terrifier, was there. Felicia Rose, who played, of course, what's her name from Sleepaway Camp. Why is the character's name escaping me right now? Oh my god. Um, I can't think of her name. Wow. Well, you guys know Sleepaway Camp, the first one. Felissa Rose played the young girl. And then you had James Jude Courtney and Nick Castle from the Halloween franchise. Um, and Doug Bradley, it's Hellraiser. Those were the 5 that were there. I think Kane Hodder was supposed to be there too, who obviously played Jason, but I think they kind of scheduled the photo op with him at the same time that this was going on. So there's some scheduling conflict there. So he didn't make it. But that was great to sit on. You talk about a full house. That room was jam packed. There was standing room only, probably fire hazards going on there, fire hazard safety problems there. But nobody really cared. We were all just there to see these 5 incredible performers and legends. Quite frankly. Um, Oh, it still bugs me that I can't think of the young girl's name. Okay. Sorry, guys. I have to take a moment because this is just going to drive the hell out of me. or bugged the hell out of me. You can tell I'm sick. I'm not thinking clearly here. But if I can't think of what the hell her name is, Angela. Oh my God, Angela slash Peter. If you've seen the movie, you know why. It's a slash in there. But oh, I can't believe I can't remember. But yeah, Felicia Rose, who played Angela, was in there. It was awesome. All three panels were awesome. In fact, the Jaws one, they reserved the first two or three rows for VIP. And I think they missed it because I didn't realize that. So I jumped to the first row and nobody called me out on it. So I got to watch the Jaws panel only being general admission in the VIP section, basically. So that was awesome. Of course, everybody was mostly there to see Richard Dreyfuss. But you also had a couple of the other ones. You had, I can't think of their names, but you had the young girl who's obviously killed at the beginning of the Jaws, the swimmer. Um, you had Brody's assistant, Sheriff Jeffrey Kramer, I think is the actor's name. And then you had the young boy who played Alex, who was killed in Jaws. Um, he was there as well. So you had the five of, is it five, four or five of them? Four. Yeah, I can't even count either. So that was great. And then the Monsters was great. Friday the 13th Final Girls obviously was great. Um, so there were, the reason I wanted to come to this convention was because of the Friday the 13th Final Girls that were going to be there. It's rare that you get more than three of them at the same convention. This convention had six of the first eight Friday the 13th Final Girl. So of the first eight movies, six of them were in attendance. Five of them were in attendance at this panel, and I'll get into why the other one wasn't there. The only two that weren't there from the first eight Friday movies were Dana Kimmel, who played Chris from Part Three, and then, of course, I should Jennifer Cook, who played Megan Garris in Part Six. I don't think she does horror conventions. Nobody really. Somebody had a question like, does anybody stay in touch with her and know anything about Jennifer Cook? And nobody really does. So I don't think that. I think she's sort of. I don't know if she's distanced herself from the movie. I know she is in the Crystal Lake Memories that came out about 10 or 12 years ago. She is in the documentary for that, but I don't think she does conventions. So Dana Kimmel does a few, but I think they're pretty few and far between. So you take what you can get. We got the other six Final Girls from the first eight films, the Paramount films. Five of them were at the panel, which was great. The only one that wasn't was Kimberly Beck, who played Trish in the final chapter. And unfortunately, she got sick on Saturday morning. She was only at her table from like 2 to 7, or I think, on Saturday. So we'll get in more into that here when I go through my autographs. But that was the crux of why I really wanted to come to this convention. There were a few other people as well. But anyway, let's just go ahead and get into it in order here. So I think I showed this picture on my first video. Sorry about the lighting here, guys. I don't know if there's anything I can do to change that. Probably not. But you have Nick Castle and myself. I showed this picture, I was trying to say, in my day one wrap up for the convention, but I didn't have the signature then. The first thing I did on Saturday morning was get Nick Castle's signature to Brian Nick Castle, aka The Shape. So that was very cool. He was a really nice guy. It was, you talk about a legend. I don't want to say, I don't really fanboy out or anything like that when it comes to meeting these celebrities. That being said, that doesn't mean that it's not a very cool moment. And he is a legend. And so it's awesome to have my picture with him, as well as get to meet him and get the autograph on the picture. I also did a selfie with him because it was included with the autograph. So I actually got another set of pictures with Nick Castle that was pretty awesome. So that was my first autograph. And then I had a couple other professional photos taken. For those of you who don't know, you can either get selfies typically with the celebrities at the table, or they have what are called celebrity photo ops, which are basically under ideal circumstances. You get a professional photographer with all the appropriate lighting and everything. Um, and so I got one with. Oh man, this is going to be a long video here. I got one with another legend, Richard Dreyfuss here. got my Jaws shirt on, and he actually I got him to sign this yesterday, the third day at the convention. That's when I got most of my autographs. Um, he says, Brian, hi. I think it's hi. Richard Dreyfuss. I will say he had a little trouble signing his name. He's in his late 70s, I think, now, so he was a little shaky, but it was still an absolute pleasure. First of all, to get this picture with him, and second of all, to meet him and get it signed. I got a fist bump from him. I think he, like another celebrity I'll get into, could sense that I was sick. So I put my hand out to shake his hand, but he gave me the fist bump, which is fine. I think he sensed that I was sick, probably in my voice and my sniffles and stuff. But talk about a legend. I mean, this was another, other than the Friday the 13th Final Girls, he was the other reason why I really wanted to go to this convention. So it was really awesome. He had one of the longest lines, too, of everybody at this convention. So that was awesome. And then the third and final professional photo op I got was with the man, the myth, the legend, Kane Hodder here, Jason to Brian Kane Hodder, Jason 789 and X. He wrote the movies underneath there. Now I had gotten an autograph from him at my earlier convention, my Days of the Dead convention that I went to back in um, back in February in Las Vegas, but I didn't get a picture with him for whatever dumb reason. Instead of getting a selfie and another table photo print, I decided to just go ahead and sign up for a photo op with him. So that's very cool because I'm a huge fan of Kane Hodder. And then yesterday, again, the first autograph I got was with Kane Hodder here, his signature, and got to meet him, shake his hand, and all that fun stuff. So that was awesome. He had really long lines too all weekend. So those are my three professional photo ops. I think I'm gonna have to make a part two video because I'm already at 21:45, and there's no way I can give short shrift to these other autographs. So stay tuned for part two of this wrap up, this summary wrap up ScareFest weekend. But I hope you enjoyed part one here. Thank you for watching. Hope everybody's doing well, better than me as far as like a head cold goes. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification, and comment down below any thoughts, questions, or comments that you have. And I'll see you in the next video, which will be coming out shortly. Thanks for watching. Stay scared. Bye.